Dhanavad Pranam to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Antya Lila, Chapter 20, Text 50. Chadi Anya Narigana Moravasa Tanumana Mora Subhagya Prakata Kariya Tasabare Deya Pida Amasane Kare Krida Seinari Gane Dekana. Sometimes Krishna gives up the company of other gopis and becomes controlled, mind and body, by me. Thus he manifests my good fortune and gives others distress by performing his loving affairs with me. Kibaten ho lampata satadrishta sakapata anyanari ganakari satta moredite manhapida mora age kare krida tabuten ho mora prananata. Or since, after all, he is very cunning, obstinate, debauchee, with a propensity to cheat, he takes the company of other women. He then indulges in loving affairs with them in front of me, to give distress to my mind. Nevertheless, he is still the Lord of my life. Nagani apanhaduka sabe vanchi tanrasuka amara tatpaya mureyadi dihaduka tanrahaila mahashuka seiduka murasuka varya. I do not mind my personal distress. I only wish for the happiness of Krishna, for his happiness is the goal of my life. However, if he feels great happiness in giving me distress, that distress is the best of my happiness. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that a devotee does not care about his own happiness and distress. He is simply interested in seeing that Krishna is happy, and for that purpose he engages in various activities. A pure devotee has no way of sensing happiness except by seeing that Krishna is happy in every respect. If Krishna becomes happy by giving him distress, such a devotee accepts that unhappiness as the greatest of all happiness. Those who are materialistic, however, who are very proud of material wealth and have no spiritual knowledge, like the Prakrita Sahajas, regard their own happiness as the aim of life. Some of them aspire to enjoy themselves by sharing the happiness of Krishna. This is a mentality of fruitive workers who want to enjoy sense gratification by making a show of service to Krishna. Ye narire vanche Krishna tararupe satrishna tarena pana hayaduki muhitara payapadi lanayana hate dhari kridha karana tanre karun shuki. If Krishna, attracted by the beauty of some other woman, wants to enjoy with her, but is unhappy because he cannot get her, I fall down at her feet, catch her hand, and bring her to Krishna to engage her for his happiness. Kanta Krishna Kare Rosa, Krishna Paya Santosha, Shukha Paya Tadana Barchane, Yata Yogya Kare Mana, Krishna Tate Shukha Pana, Chade Mana Alpa Sadhane. When a beloved gopi shows symptoms of anger toward Krishna, Krishna is very satisfied. Indeed, he is extremely pleased when chastised by such a gopi. She shows her pride suitably, and Krishna enjoys that attitude. Then she gives up her pride with a little endeavor. Seinari jihe kene, Krishna marma vyata jane, tabu Krishne kare gadha rosa, nijashuke mane kaja, paduka tara shire vaja, Krishnera matra chahiye santosha. Why does a woman continue to live who knows that Krishna's heart is unhappy, but who still shows her deep anger toward him? She is interested in her own happiness. I condemn such a woman to be struck on the head with a thunderbolt, for we simply want the happiness of Krishna. Purport: a devotee who is satisfied only with his own sense gratification certainly falls down from the service of Krishna. Being attracted by material happiness, he later joins the Prakrita Sahajas who are considered to be non-devotees. Ye gopi mura kare dveshe, Krishnera kare santoshe, Krishna yare kare abhilasa, muhitara gadheyana, tare sevondasi hana, tabe mora shukera ulasa. If a gopi, envious of me, satisfies Krishna, and Krishna desires her, I shall not hesitate to go to her house and become her maidservant, for then my happiness will be awakened. Kusti viprera ramani, pativrata shiromani, patilagi kaila vishara seva, stambila suryiragati, jihaila mritapati, tushta kaila mukyatina deva. The wife of a Brahmana suffering from leprosy manifested herself as the topmost of all chaste women by serving a prostitute to satisfy her husband. She thus stopped the movement of the sun, brought her dead husband back to life, and satisfied the three principal demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshvara. Purport: the Aditya Purana, Markandeya Purana, and Padma Purana tell about a Brahmana who was suffering from leprosy, but had a very chaste and faithful wife. He desired to enjoy the company of a prostitute, and therefore his wife went to her and became her maidservant, just to draw her attention for his service. When the prostitute agreed to associate with him, the wife brought her the leprotic husband. When that leper, the sinful son of a Brahmana, saw the chastity of his wife, he finally abandoned his sinful intentions. While coming home, however, he touched the body of Markandeya Rishi, who thus cursed him to die at sunrise. Because of her chastity, the woman was very powerful. Therefore, when she heard about the curse, she vowed to stop the sunrise. Because of her strong determination to serve her husband, the three deities, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshvara, were very happy, and they gave her the benediction that her husband would be cured and brought back to life. This example is given herein to emphasize that a devotee should engage himself exclusively for the satisfaction of Krishna, without personal motives. That will make his life successful. Krishna mora jivana, Krishna mora pranadana, Krishna mora pranera parana, Hridaya upare dharon, seva kari sukhi karon, ei mora sadha rahe dhyana. Krishna is my life and soul. Krishna is the treasure of my life. Indeed, Krishna is the very life of my life. I therefore keep him always in my heart and try to please him by rendering service. That is my constant meditation. Mora shuka sevane, Krishnera shuka sangame, ateva deha dena dana, Krishna more kantakari, kahe more praneshvari, morahaya dasi abhimana. My happiness is in the service of Krishna, and Krishna's happiness is in union with me. For this reason, I give my body in charity to the lotus feet of Krishna, who accepts me as his loved one and calls me his most beloved. It is then that I consider myself his maidservant. Kanta seva shuka pura, sangama hoite sumadhura, tate sakshi lakshmi takurani, narayana hridestiti, tabu para sevayamati, sevakare dasi abhimani. Service to my lover is the home of happiness, and it is more sweet than direct union with him. The goddess of fortune is evidence of this, for although she constantly lives in the heart of Narayana, she wants to render service to his lotus feet. She therefore considers herself a maidservant and serves him constantly. Ehi radhara vachana Vishuddha prema lakshana asvadhaye Shri Gauraraya bhave manana hestira satvike vyapesarira manhadeha dharana nayaya. These statements by Srimati Radharani show the symptoms of pure love for Krishna, tasted by Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. In that ecstatic love, his mind was unsteady. Transformations of transcendental love spread throughout his entire body, and he could not sustain his body and mind. Vrajhera Vishuddha Prema Yena Jambunara Hema Atma Shukera Yahannahi Gandha Se Prema Janate Loke Prabhu Kaila Ehi Shloke Pade Kaila Artera Nirbandha. The pure devotional service in Vrindavan is like the golden particles in the river Jambu. In Vrindavan, there is not a trace of personal sense gratification. It is to advertise such pure love in this material world that Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu has written the previous verse and explained its meaning. The verse referred to here is text 47, the 8th verse of the Śikṣāṣṭaka. Ehi mata Mahaprabhu bhavishtahana pralapa karila tat tat shloka padiya. Thus overwhelmed by ecstatic love, Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a madman and recited suitable verses. Text 64. Purve asta shloka kari loke sikshadhila seyi asta shlokera artha apane asfadhila. The Lord had formerly composed these 8 verses to teach people in general. Now, he personally tasted the meaning of the verses, which are called the Śikṣāṣṭaka. Prabhura Śikṣāṣṭaka shloka yehi pade sune Krishne prema bhakti tara bhade dine dine. If anyone recites or hears these 8 verses of instruction by Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, his ecstatic love and devotion for Krishna increases day by day. Yadhyapiha Prabhu Koti Samudra Gambira Nana Baba Chandrodaye Hayena Astira. Although Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu is as deep and grave as millions of oceans, when the moon of his various emotions rises, he becomes restless. Yehi yehi shloka jaya deva bhagavate Rayera natake yehi arakarnamrite Seyi seyi bhave shloka kariya patane Seyi seyi bhavaveshe karenasvadane. When Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu read the verses of Jayadev's Gita Govinda, of Srimad Bhagavatam, of Ramananda Roy's drama Jagannath Vala Nataka, and of Bilva Mangala Thakur's Krishna Karnamrta, He was overwhelmed by the various ecstatic emotions of those verses. Thus he tasted their purports. Dvadasa vatsara aiche dasaratri dine Krishna rasa asvadaye dui bandhusane. For 12 years, Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu remained in that state, day and night. With his two friends, he tasted the meaning of those verses, which consists of nothing but transcendental bliss and mellows of Krishna consciousness. Sehi sabalila rasa apane ananta sahasravadane varni nahi pana anta. Even Anantadev, who has thousands of faces, could not reach the end of describing the transcendental bliss of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Text 71. Jivakshudra buddhi kontaha pare varnite tara eka kana sparshi apana sodhite. How then could an ordinary living being with very little intelligence describe such pastimes? Nevertheless, I am trying to touch but a particle of them, just to rectify myself. Thus ends our reading for today. All glories to Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai. All glories to Shripad Bhakti Nishkam Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Shripad Bhakti Vigyan Muni Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Ajay Prabhu Ki Jai. All glories to our Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Nitai Gora Hari Hari Bol.